A Grateful Heart by Celia Thaxter. Last night I stole away alone to find a mellow crescent setting o'er the sea, and lingered in its light, while over me blew fitfully the grieving autumn wind. And somewhat sadly to myself I said, Summer is gone, and watched how bright and fast through the moon's track the little waves sped fast. Summer is gone, her golden days are dead. Regretfully I thought, since I have trod earth's ways with willing and reluctant feet, never did season bring me days more sweet, crowned with rare joys and priceless gifts from God. And they are gone, they will return no more. The slender moon went down, all red and still, the stars shone clear, the silent dews fell chill, the waves with ceaseless murmur washed the shore. A low voice spake, And wherefore art thou sad? Herein thy heart all summer folded lies, and smiles in sunshine, though the sweet time dies. 'Tis thine to keep for ever fresh and glad. Yea, gentle voice, though the fair days depart and skies grow cold above restless sea, God's gifts are measureless, and there shall be eternal summer in the grateful heart. A Thanksgiving by Celia Thaxter. High on the ledge the wind blows the bay bright, turning the leaves till they shudder and shine in the light. Yellow St. John's wort and yew are nodding their heads, iris and wild rose are glowing in purples and reds. Swift flies the schooner carrying beyond all the blue. Faint shows the foe she leaves as she cleaves lightly through. Gay gleams the fluttering flag at the delicate mast, full swell the sails of the wind that is following fast. Quail and sandpiper and swallow and sparrow are here. Sweet sound the manifold notes, high and low, far and near. Chorus of musical waters, the rush of a breeze, steady and strong from the south. What glad voices are these? A cup of a wild rose, curved close to hold odorous dew. What thought do you hide in your heart? I would that I knew. A beautiful iris unfurling your purple and gold, what victory fling you abroad on the flags you unfold? Sweet may your font be, red rose, but still sweeter is mine. Close to my heart hidden, clear as your dewdrop divine. Flutter your daffodils, iris, the paean I sing, is for victory better than joy than beauty can bring. Into my calm eyes, O nature, I look and rejoice. Prayerful, add my one note to the infinite voice. As shining and singing and sparkling lights on the glad day, and eastward the swift rolling planet wheels into the grey. April Days by Celia Thaxter. Oh, the sweet, sweet lapsing of the tide through the still hours of a golden afternoon. Oh, the warm, red sunshine, far and wide, falling soft as the crowning days of June. Calls the grey sandpiper from the quiet shore, wave the swallows light and music through the air. Chants the sparrow all his pleasure hour and hour, sings and smiles the spring and sparkles everywhere. Well to know that death and pain to all are near, that, save sorrow, naught is certain this world gives, yet my heart stirs with the budding of the year, and rejoices still with everything that lives. Fold me when, O south wind, God is good. Gladly, gratefully I take thy sweet caress, call, sandpiper, from thy solitude, every sight and sound its power to bless. O the sweet, sweet lapsing of a tide, through the still hours of the golden afternoon. Nor death, nor pain, nor sorrow shall abide, for God blesses all his children, late or soon. At the Breaker's Edge by Celia Thaxter. Through the white sky, thy north wind's thunder roars, resistless, till no cloud is left to flee. And down the clear cold heaven unhindering pours thine awful moonlight on the winter sea. The vast, black, raging spaces, torn and wild, with an insensate fury answer back to the gale's challenge. Hurrying breakers pealed each over each, rolled through the glittering track. I shudder in the terror of thy cold, as buffeted by the fierce blast I stand, watching that shining path of bronzed gold with solemn shadowy rocks on either hand, while at their feet ghastly and white as death the cruel foaming billows plunge and rave. O Father, where art thou? My feeble breath cries to thee through the storm of wind and wave, the cry of all thy children since the first that walked the planet's myriad paths among, the cry of all mankind whom thou hast cursed in every clime and every age and tongue. Thou art the cold, the swift fire that consumes, thy vast, unerring forces never fail, and thou art in the frailest flower that blooms as in the breath of his tremendous gale. Yet though thy laws are clear as light, and prove thee changeless, ever human weakness craves some deeper knowledge for our human love, that looks with sad eyes o'er its wastes of graves, and hunger for the dear hands softly drawn, one after one, from out our longing grasp. Dost thou reach out for them, and with sweet damp of some new world thrill they within thy clasp? Or what am I, Thine atom standing here, in presence of thy pitiless elements, daring to question thy great silence, dear, no voice may break to light no suspense. Where only infinite patience that endures forever, blind and dumb I cling to thee. Slow glides the bitter night, and silent pours thine awful moonlight on the winter sea. Beethoven by Celia Thaxter. Our sovereign master, stern and splendid power, that calmly dost both time and death defy. Lofty and lone as mountain peaks that tower, leading our thoughts up to the eternal sky. Keeper of some divine, mysterious key, raising us far above all human care, unlocking awful gates of harmony to let heaven's light in on the world's despair. Smite of solemn chords that still command echoes and souls that suffer and aspire, in the great moment while we hold the hand, baptized with pain and rapture, tears and fire, God lifts our saddened foreheads from the dust, the everlasting God, in whom we trust. O stateliest, who should speak thy praise, who find a fitting word to utter before thee? O lonely splendor, o consummated mind, who marshallest thy hosts in majesty, thy shadowy armies of resistless thought, thy subtle forces drawn from nature's heart, thy solemn breathing and mighty music, wrought of life and death, a miracle thou art. Restless tides of human life that swing in stormy currents, waters touch and sway. Deep tones within us answer, shuddering at thy resounding voice. We cast away all our unworthiness, made strong by we, the great uplifter of humanity. And was it thus the master looked, think I, is this the painter's fancy? Who can tell? These strong and noble outlines should be true, on the broad brow such majesty should dwell. Yea, and these deep, indomitable eyes are surely his. Lo, the imperial will in every feature, mighty purpose lies about the shut mouth, resolute and still. Observe her head's pathetic attitude, bent forward, listening, he that might not hear. Or could the world's adoring gratitude so late to come have made us lifeless drear? Hearest thou, now great soul beyond our ken, men's reverent voices answering we, Amen? By the dead, by Celia Thaxter. O poverty, till now I never knew the meaning of a word, what lacks here. O pale mask of a soul, great, good and true, a mocking semblance stretched upon a bier. Each atom of his devastated face was so instinct with power, with warmth and light. O desert is so desolate, no grace is left, no gleam, no change, no day, no night. Where's the key that locked these gates of speech, once beautiful? Where thought stood sentinel, where sweetness sat, where freedom passed, to teach her weakness strength, O marsh to compel? Spoiled at last, and wasted barren lies, this once so rich domain, where lives and moves, in what new world, the splendor of these eyes, the dawn is lightened like imperial Jove's? Annihilated, do you answer me, blown out and vanished like a candle flame? Is nothing left but this pale effigy, this silence drear, this dread without a name? Has it been all in vain, our love and pride, this yearning love that still pursues her friend into the awful dark, unsatisfied, bereft, and wrung with pain? Is this the end? Would God so mock us, to our human sense no answer reaches through the doubtful air, yet with living hope, profound, intense, our tortured souls rebel against despair. Bowing to the bitter fate we go, dropping and dumb as if beneath a curse, but does not pitying heaven answer, no, before the voices of universe. Chanticleer by Celia Thaxter. I wake. I feel the day is near. I hear the red cock crowing. He cries, "'Tis dawn." How sweet and clear his cheerful call comes to my ear, while light is slowly growing. The white snow gathers, flake on flake. I hear the red cock crowing. Is anybody else awake to see the winter morning break, while thick and fast snowing? I think the world is all asleep. I hear the red cock crowing. Out of the frosty pane I peep. The drifts of hills are wide and deep, and wild the wind is blowing. Nothing I see has shape or form. I hear the red cock crowing. But that dear voice comes through the storm to greet me in my nest so warm, as if the sky were glowing. A happy little child, I lie and hear the red cock crowing. The day is dark. I wonder why his voice rings out so brave and high, with gladness overflowing. Chopin, Celia Thaxter. Calm is the close of the day, while things are quiet and blessed. Low in the darkening west the young moon sinks slowly away. Without in the twilight I dream, within it is cheerful and bright the faces that bloom in the light, and the cold keys that silently gleam. When a magical touch draws near, and a voice like a call of delight cleaves the calm of a beautiful night, and I turn from my music to hear. Love the movement too wondrous to name, agitation and rapture, the press as of myriad waves that caress and break into vanishing flame. Ah, but the exquisite strain sinking to pathos so sweet as life and a lie and a cheat, hark to the hopeless refrain. Comes a shock like the voice of a soul lost to good, to all beauty and joy, let alone by the powers that destroy and fighting with fiends for control. Drops a chord like a gray's first clot, but again toss the waves of caprice, wild, delicate, sweet, with no peace, no health, and no yielding to God. A siren, which harmons the air with his pretended and passionate spell, sad as songs of the angels that fell, will lead us alone to despair. For troubles the night, it grows chill, let the weird wild music be, fronts as the infinite sea, and nature is holy and still. Courage by Celia Thaxter. Because I hold it sinful to respond, will not let the bitterness of life blind me with burning tears, but look beyond its tumult and its strife. Because I lift my head above the mist, where the sun shines and the broad breezes blow, but every ray and every raindrop kissed with God's love doth bestow. Think you I find no bitterness at all, no burden to be borne like Christians pack? Think you there are no ready tears, therefore because I keep them back? Why should I hug life's ills with cold reserve, to curse myself and all who love me? Nay, 1,000 times more good than I deserve, God gives me every day. And in each one of these rebellious tears, kept bravely back, He makes a rainbow shine. Grateful I take His slightest gift, no fears, nor any doubts are mine. Dark skies must clear, and when the clouds are past, one golden day redeems a very year. Patient I listen, sure with sweet at last will sound His voice of cheer. And vex me not with chiding, let me be, must be glad and grateful to the end. I grudge you not your cold and darkness, me the pause of light befriend. Expectation by Celia Thaxter. Throughout the lonely house the whole day long, the wind harps fit for music sings and swells, a cry of pain, sometimes or sad and strong, or faint like broken peals of silver bells. Across the little garden comes the breeze, pours all its cups of flame, and brings to me its breath of mignonette and bright sweet peace, with drowsy murmurs from the encircling sea. In at the open door a crimson drift of fluttering, fading woodbine leaves its blown, and through the clambering wine the sunbeams sift, and trembling shadows on the floor are thrown. I climb the stair, and from a window lean, as seeking by sail or laugh that still delays, longing to catch its glimmer, searching keen the jealous distance veiled in tender haze. What care I if the pansies purple be, or sweet the wind harp wails through the slow hours, or if the lulling music of the sea comes woven with the perfume of the flowers? Or comes not, I ponder o'er the leaves, the crimson drift behind the open door. Soon shall we listen to a wind that grieves, mourning this glad year, dead for evermore. And, O my love, should we on some sad day find joys and hopes, low falling like the leaves, blown by life's chilly autumn wind away, in withered heaps God's eye alone perceives? Come thou and save me from my dreary thought. O dares to question time, what it may bring, and round us lies the radiant summer, fraught with beauty, must we dream of suffering? Yea, even so, through this enchanted land, this morning red of life, we go to meet the tempest in the desert, hand in hand, along God's paths of pain that seek His feet. But with one golden moment, hold it fast. The light grows long, down the west the sun, clear red and glorious, slowly sinks at last. And while we muse, the tranquil day is done. The land breeze freshens in thy gleaming sail, across the singing waves the shadows creep, under the new moon's thread of silver pale, with the first star becomes over deep. 4 Thoughts by Celia Thaxter. A pansy on his breast she laid, splendid and dark with tyrant eyes. Take it, 'tis like your tender eyes, deep as the midnight heaven, she said. The rich rose mantling in her cheek, before him like the dawn she stood, pausing upon life's height, subdued yet triumphing, both proud and meek. And white as winter stars, intense with steadfast fire, his brilliant face bent toward with an eager grace, pale with rapture half suspense. You give me then a thought, O sweet. He cried and kissed the purple flower, and bowed by love's resistless power, trembling he sank before her feet. She crowned his beautiful bowed head with one caress of white hand. Rise up, my flower of all the land, for all my thoughts are yours, she said. Guendolen by Celia Thaxter. She is so fair, I thought, so dear and fair, maidenly beautiful from head to feet, with pensive profile delicate and sweet, and Titan's colour in her sunny hair. So fair, I thought, rejoicing even to note the little flexible, transparent wrist, the purple of a gold-clasped amethyst that glittered at her wide and slender throat. The tiny ear curled like a rosy shell, the gentle splendour of her wide brown eyes, Deep, lustrous, tender, clear as morning skies, the full, sad lips, the voice that, like a bell, rang thrilling with music sweet and wild, high, airy, pure, as fluting of a face, or bird notes in the early summer days, and joyous as the love of a child. Dearest, has heaven aught to give thee more? I thought, the while I watched the changing face, heard the fine tones, and marked the gesture's grace, yea, one more gift is left, all gifts before. We go our separate ways on earth, and pain God's shabby chisel waits us as the rest, with nobler charm the beauty to invest, and make thee lovelier ere we meet again. Imprisoned by Celia Thaxter. Lightly she lifts the large, pure, luminous shell, poises it in her strong and shapely hand. Listen, she says, it has a tale to tell, spoken in language you may understand. Smiling, she holds it at my dreaming ear. The old delicious murmur of the sea steals like enchantment through me, and I hear voices like echoes of eternity. She stirs it softly. Lo, another speech. In one of its dim chambers, shut from sight, it seals with water that has kissed the beach, where the far Indian Ocean leaps in light. Those laughing ripples, hidden evermore in utter darkness, plaintively repeat, their lapsing on the glowing tropic shore, in melancholy whispers low and sweet. O prisoned wave that may not see the sun, O voice that never may be comforted, you cannot break the web that fate has spun, out of your world a light and gladness fled. Red dawn nevermore shall tremble far across the leagues of radiant brim to you, you shall not sing to greet the evening star, nor dance exulting under heaven's clear blue. Inexorable woven is the weft that shrouds from you and all joy but memory, only this tender, low lament is left of all the sumptuous splendor of the sea. In Kittery Churchyard by Celia Thaxter. Crushing the scarlet strawberries in the grass, I kneel to read the slanting stone. Alas, how sharp a sorrow speaks! 100 years and more have vanished with their smiles and tears, since here was laid, upon an April day, sweet Mary Chauncey in the grave away. 100 years since here her lover stood beside the grave in such despairing mood, and yet from out the vanished past I hear his cry of anguish sounding deep and clear, and all my heart with pity melts as though today's bright sun were looking on his woe. Of such a wife, O righteous heaven, from the dark down, how brilliant shines the day! A low wall, over which the roses shed the perfumed petals, shuts the quiet dead, part a little, and the tiny squares dance in the brood and laughing fields of fair, and gay green vines climb o'er the rough stone wall, and all about the wild birds flit and call. And but the stones flow southward, the blue sea road sparkling in and sings incessantly. Lovely as any dream, the peaceful place, and scarcely changed since on her gentle face, for the last time on that sad April day he gazed and felt for him, our beauty lay, buried with her forever. Dull to him looked the bright world, through eyes with tears so dim. I soon shall follow the same dread way that leads and opens to the coasts of day. His only hope, but when slow time had dealt firmly with him and kindly, and he felt the storms and stress of strong and piercing pain yielding at last, and he grew calm again. Doubtless he found another mate before he followed Mary to the happy shore. But none the less his grief appeals to me, who sit and listen to the singing sea this matchless summer day. Beside the stone he made to echo with his bitter moan, and in my eyes I feel the foolish tears for buried sorrow, dead 100 years. In May by Celia Thaxter. That was so curlew calling overhead, that fine clear whistle shaken from the clouds. See, hovering over his warmth of wings outspread, he sings where at its ledge in shining crowds the yellow violets dance as they unfold, and the blithe spring wind all their green and gold. Blithe south wind, spreading bloom upon the sea, drawing about the world this band of faces softly delicate, and bringing me a touch of balm that like a blessing stays. A beauty like a dream bathes sea and land, for the first time death holds me by the hand. Yet none the less the swallows weave above, through the bright air, web of light and song, and calling clear and sweet from cove to cove, the Sandpiper, the lonely rocks among, makes wistful music, and the singing sea sends its strong chorus upwards solemnly. O Mother Nature, infinitely dear, vainly I search the beauty of thy face, and vainly the myriad voices charm my ear. I cannot gather from thee any trace of God's intent. Help me to understand why, with sweet morn, death holds me by the hand. I watch the waves, shoulder to shoulder set, that strives and vanish and are seen no more. View of the sound of graves that we forget, and races of mankind the wide world o'er rise, strive, and vanish, leaving naught behind, like changing waves sweep by the changing wind. Hard-hearted, cold, and blind, she answers me, vexing thyself with riddles hard to guess. No waste of any atom canst foresee, nor make I any gesture purposely. Lift thy dim eyes up to the conscious sky, God meant with rapture and the courteous cry. He holds his whirling worlds in check, not one may from its awful orbit swerve aside. It breathes again, the south wind bids the sun wake the fair flowers he fashioned, far and wide, and this strong pain thou canst not understand is but the grasp of thy reluctant hand. Jack Frost by Celia Thaxter. Rustly creak the crickets. Jack Frost came down last night. He slid to the earth on a starbeam, keen and sparkling and bright. He sought in the grass for crickets with delicate eye-spear, so sharp and fine and fatal, and he stepped them far and near. Only a few stout fellows, formed by the morning sun, chirp a mournful echo of bygone frolic and fun. But yesterday such a rippling chorus in all over the land, over the hills and the valleys, down to the grey sea sand. Millions of merry harlequins, skipping and dancing in glee, cricket and locust and grasshopper, happy as happy could be, scoping rich caves and ripe apples, and feeding on honey and spice, drunk with mellow sunshine, not dreaming of spears of ice. Was it not enough that the crickets your weapon of power should pierce? Pray what have you done to the flowers? Jack Frost, you are cruel and fierce. Never a sign nor a whisper you kissed them, and lo, they still their beautiful lives. They are dropping, their sweet colour ebbs, they are pale, they fade and they die. See the pansies, yet striving so hard to unfold the garments of velvet splendour, all tiry and purple and gold. How weary they look, and how withered, like handsome court dames, who all night have danced at the ball, till the sunrise struck chill to their hearts with its light. Where heights the wood Esther? She wins the snow wraps dissolves in the sun the moment you touched her. Look yonder, where sober and grey as the nun the maple tree stands, that its sunset was blushing as red as the sky. At its foot, glowing scarlet as fire, its robes of magnificent lie. Spoil her, stripping the world as you strip a shivering tree of colour and sound and perfume, scattering the bird and the bee, turning beauty to ashes. Oh, to join with swallows and fly far away at the sight of your mischief, I give you no welcome, not I. Landlocked by Celia Thaxter. Black lie the hills, swiftly doth daylight flee, and catching gleams of sunset's dying smile through the dusk land for many a changing mile, the river runneth softly to the sea. O happy river, could I follow thee? O yearning heart that never can be still, wistful eyes that watch the steadfast hill, longing for level line of solemn sea. Have patience, hear flowers and songs of birds, beauty and fragrance, wealth of sound and sight. All summer's glory wined from morn till night, and life too full of joy for uttered words. Neither am I ungrateful, but I dream deliciously, a twilight falls tonight over the glimmering water, how the light dies blissfully away until I seem to feel the wind sea scanted on my cheek, to catch the sound of dusky flipping sail, and dimmer oars and voices on the gale, afar off, calling low, my name they speak. O earth, thy summer song of joy may soar, ringing to heaven and triumph, but I crave the sad, caressing murmur of a wave that breaks in tender music on the shore. March by Celia Thaxter. The keen north wind pipes loud, swift scuds the flying cloud. Light lies the new fallen snow, the ice-clad eaves drip slow, for glad spring has begun, and to the ardent sun the earth, long time so bleak, turns a frost-bitten cheek. Through the clear sky of March, blue to the topmost arc, swept by the new year's gale, the crow harsh clamouring sails. By the swift river's flood, the willow's golden blood mounts to the highest spray, more vivid day by day. And fast the maples now, crimson through every bough, and from the elder's crown swing the long catkins brown. Gone is the winter's pain, for sorrows still remain, for eyes with tears be wet, the voice of our regret we hush, to hear the sweet, far fall of summer's feet. The heavenly Father wise looks in the saddened eyes of our unworthiness, yet of we cheer and bless. Doubt and despair dead, hope dares to rise ahead, and whispers of delight fill the earth day and night. The snowdrops by the door lift upward, swift and pure, delicate bells, and soon, in the calm blaze of noon, by lowly window sills will laugh the daffodils. May Morning by Celia Thaxter. Warm, wild, rainy wind, blowing fitfully, stirring dreamy breakers on the slumberous May sea. What shall fail to answer thee? What thing shall withstand the spell of thine enchantment, flowing over sea and land? All along the swamp edge in the rain I go, all about my head while the loosened locks doth blow. Like the German goose girl in the fairy tale, I watch across the shining pool my flock of ducks that sail. Redly gleam the rose haws, dripping with the wet, fruit of sober autumn, glowing crimson yet. Slender swords of iris leaves cut the water clear, and light green creeps the tender grass, thick spreading far and near. Every last year's stalk is set with brown or golden studs. All the boughs of bayberry are thick with scanted buds. Islanded in turfy velvet, where the ferns uncurl, low the large white duck's egg glimmers like a pearl. Softly sing the billows, rushing, whispering low. Freshly, oh, deliciously, the warm, wild wind doth blow. Plaintive bled of new-washed lambs comes faint from far away, and clearly cry the little bird, alert and blithe and gay. A happy, happy morning, oh dear familiar place, a warm, sweet tears of heaven fast falling on my face. A well-remembered, rainy wind, blow all my care away. I may be a child again this blissful morn of May. Midsummer Midnight by Celia Thaxter. The wide, still moonlight water miles away stretches in lonely splendor. Whispers creep about us from the midnight wind, and play among the flowers with breaths of sweet and sleep. A soft touch sways the milk-white stately phlox, and on its slender stem the poppy rocks. Fair faces turn to watch the dusky sea, and clear eyes brood upon the path of light. The white moon makes the while deliciously, like some vague, tender memory of delight, or like some half-remembered, dear regret rises the odor of the mignonette. Midsummer glories, moonlight, flowers, asleep in delicate perfume, music winds that blow soft breathing, full of balm, and the great deepened leagues of shadow swaying to and fro, and loving human thought to mark it all, and human hearts that to each other call. Needs the enchantment of a summer night another touch to make it perfect? Hark, what sudden shift of sound, like piercing light, strikes on the ear at war the moonlit dark, like some keen shock of joy is heard within the wondrous music of the violin. It is as if damp nature found the voice and spoke with power upon an unknown tongue. What kinship has the music with the noise of waves or winds, or with the flowers slow swung like censers to and fro upon the air, or with the shadow of a moonlight fair? Yet it seems some subtle link exists, we know not how, and over every face of thought and feeling wandering as it lists, playing upon us as the west wind plays over the wind harp, the subduing strain sweeps with a resistless power of joy and pain. Slow ebbs the golden tide, and all is still. Ask the magician, at whose touch awoke that mighty, penetrating, present will, the matchless voice that so divinely spoke, kindling to fresher life the listening soul, ordaining forth such fire from heaven's stone. He cannot tell us how the charm was wrought, though in his hand he holds the potent key, nor read the spell that to a sweet night brewed this crown of rapture and of mystery, and lifted every heart and drew away all trace of worldliness that marred the day. Then he held his boat, and watched the sea with other eyes, as if some hint of bliss spoke to us with a yearning melody, of glad new world, of brighter lives than this, but still the milk-white stately frogs wave slow and rosily the poppy rocks below. Mozart by Celia Thaxter. Most beautiful among the helpers woe, all heaven's fresh air and sunshine at her voice, flood with refreshment many a very brow, and sad souls thrill with courage and rejoice to hear God's gospel of pure gladness sound so sure and clear in this bewildered world. Till the sick vapours that our sense confound, the cheerful winds sigh into nothing word. O matchless melody, O perfect art, O lovely, lofty voice unfaltering, O strong and radiant and divine Mozart, among earth's benefactors crowned a king. Laughed shall the woe be while time may yet endure, spirit of health, sweet, sound, and wise, and pure. Mozart at the Fireside by Celia Thaxter. Autumn nights grow chilly. See how faces bloom by the cheerful firelight in the quiet room. Mother's amber necklace, father's beard of gold, rosy cheeks of little boys, all glowing from the cold. Basket heaped with barberries, coral red and bright, little silver's shaggy fur all shining in the light. Barberries bright, they are picking and smile and do not speak. Happy little youngest boy kisses mother's cheek. First mother's and then father's, and nestles his pretty head in the shining fur of silver, while they pick the barberries red. At the piano sitting, one touches the beautiful keys. Silent they sit and listen to magical melodies. Heavenly, tender, and hopeful balm for the saddest heart rises the lovely music of the divine Mozart. The children hear the birds sing and the voices of the May, they feel the freshness of morning before the toil of the day. But father and mother listen to a deeper undertone, a strong arm, full of comfort, seems about life's trouble frown. O children, when your summer passes and winter is near, when the sky is dim that was so bright, and the way seems long and drear, remember the mighty Master still touches the human heart, speaking afar from heaven, the wonderful Mozart. He can bring back your childhood with the strains of airy grace, till life seems fresh and beautiful again for a little space. With voices of lofty sweetness he shall encourage you, till all good things seem possible, and heaven's best promise true. Till health and strength and loveliness blossom from stone and clod, and the sad old world grows bright again with the cheerfulness of God. November, by Celia Thaxter. There is no wind at all tonight to dash the drops against the pane, nor sound abroad, nor any light, and sadly falls the autumn rain. There's no colour in the world, no lovely tint on hill or plain. Summer's golden sails are furled, and sadly falls the autumn rain. The earth lies technically beneath, as to prepare to joy or pain. Does not move, it does not breath, and sadly falls the autumn rain. But my heart is patient too, I wait till it shall wake again. The songs of spring shall sound anew, sadly falls the autumn rain. Offshore, by Celia Thaxter. Rock a little boat beneath a quiet sky, only the stars behold us where we lie. Only the stars and yonder brightening moon on the white sea tonight alone are we. The sweet, bright summer day dies silently, its glowing sunset will have faded soon. Rock softly, little boat, the while I mark the far-off gliding sails, distinct and dark, across the west pass, steadily and slow. But on the eastern waters, sad, they change and vanish, dreamlike, grey and cold and strange, and no one knows whither they may go. Care not, we, drifting with wind and tide, while glad waves darken upon either side, save where the moon sends silver sparkled stone. And yonder slender stream of changing light, now white, now crimson, tremulously bright, here dark the lighthouse stands with fiery crown. Thick falls the dew, soundless on sea and shore. It shines on little boat and idle oar, where the moonbeams touch with tranquil glow. The waves are full of whispers, wild and sweet, they call to me, incessantly they beat, along the boat from stern to curved prow. Comes the carrying wind, blows back my hair, or damp with dew, to kiss me unaware, murmuring, "Thee I love," and passes on. Sweet sounds on rocky shores the distant road. Or could we float forever, little boat, under the blissful sky drifting alone? Presage, by Celia Thaxter. If some day I should seek those eyes so gentle now, and find the strange pale shadow of a coming change to chill me with sad surprise, shouldst thou recall what thou hast given, and turn me slowly cold and damp, and thou thyself again become remote as any star in heaven? Would the sky ever seem again perfectly clear? Would the serene, sweet face of nature steal between this grief and me to dull its pain? Or not for many a very day would so soften to regret, and many a sun would rise and set, ere I, with cheerful heart, could say, "All undeserved that came, today God takes it back again, because too beautiful a thing it was for such as I to keep for aye." And ever, through the coming years, my star, remote in happy skies, would seem more heavenly, fair through eyes, yet tremulous with unfallen tears. Regret, by Celia Thaxter. Softly death touches her, and she passed away out of this glad, bright world she made more fair, sweet as the apple blossoms, when in May the orchard's flush of summer grown aware. All that fresh delicate beauty gone from sight, that gentle gracious presence felt no more. How must the house be emptied of delight, what shadows on her threshold she passed o'er. She loved me, surely I was grateful, yet I could not give her back all she gave me. Ever think of it with vague regret, musing upon a summer by the sea, remembering troops of merry girls who pressed about me, clinching arms and tender eyes, and laugh like scent of roses. With the rest she came to my heart with new surprise. The day I left them all and sailed away o'er the calm sea, neath the soft grey sky, we waved farewell, she followed me to say yet once again a wistful sweet goodbye. At the boat's bow she dropped, her light green dress swept o'er the skiff a many graceful fold, her glowing face bright with mute caress, crowned with the lovely hair of shadowy gold. Tears she dropped into the crystal brine for me unworthy, as we slowly swung free of the mooring. Her last look was mine, seeking me still remotely crowded among. Or tender memory of her dead I hold, so precious through the thread and change of years. Were I to live till time itself grew old, sad sea would be sad if it was tears. Remembrance, by Celia Thaxter. Fragrant and soft the summer wind doth blow. There I lie, with heavy, half-shut eyes, and watch, while wistful thoughts within me rise, the curtain idly swaying to and fro. There comes the sound of household toil from far, a woven murmur, Voices shrill and sweet, clapping of doors and restless moving feet, and tokens faint of fret and noise and jar. Without the broad earth shimmers in the glare, through the clear noon high rides the blazing sun. The birds are hushed, the crickets chirp alone with tremulous music cleaves the drowsy air. Think. Past the grey rocks the wavelets run, the gold-brown seaward drapes the wretched ledge, and brooding, silent as the water's edge, the white gull sitteth, shining in the sun. Schubert, by Celia Thaxter. At the open window I lean, flowers in the garden without, faint in the heat and the draught. What does the music mean? For here from the cold keys within is a tempest of melody drawn, doubts, passionate questions, the dawn of high hope, and a triumph to win. While out in the garden, blood red, the poppy drops, faint in the heat of the noon, and the sea wind so sweet caresses its delicate head. And still the strong music goes on, while its storming of beautiful heights, with its starward heavenly quiets, and the victory fought for is won. High with thy gift didst thou reach, Schubert, whose genius superb nothing could shake or could chirp. Thou liftest the heart with thy speech. Seaside Golden Rod, by Celia Thaxter. Graceful, tossing plum of glowing gold, waving lonely on the rocky ledge, leaning seaward, lovely to behold, clinging to the high cliff's wretched edge. Burning in the pure September sky, spike of gold against the stainless blue. Do you watch the vessels drifting by? Does the quiet day seem long to you? Up to you I climb, of perfect shape, poised so lightly twixt the sky and sea, looking out our headland, crag and cape, o'er the ocean's vague immensity. Up to you my human thought I bring, sit me down your peaceful watch to share. Do you hear the waves below us sing? Feel you the soft fanning of the air? How much of life's rapture is your right? And earth's joy what may your portion be? Rocked by breezes, touched by tender light, fed by dews, and sung to by the sea. Something of delight and of content must be yours, however vaguely known, and your grace is mutely eloquent, and your beauty makes a rock a frown. Matters not to you, O golden flower, that such eyes of worship watch you sway, but you make more sweet the dreamful hour, and you crown for me the tranquil day. Seaward, by Celia Thaxter. How long it seems since that mild April night when, leaning from the window, you and I heard, clearly ringing from shadowy by, the loon's unearthly cry. Southwest the wind blew, million little waves ran rippling around the point in mellow tune, but mournful, like the voice of one who raves, that laughter of a loon. We call to him, where blindly through the haze uprose the mere grey moon behind us, slow, so dim, the fleet of boats we scarce could trace, moored lightly just below. Called and low he answered, half in fear he sent the note back. Echoing rock and bay, made melancholy music far and near, sadly it died away. The schooner, you remember, flying ghost, her canvas catching every wandering beam, aerial noiseless past the glimmering coast, she glided like a dream. Would we were leaning from your window now, together calling to the eerie loon, the fresh wind blowing care from either brow, the sumptuous night of June. So many sighs, loud with sweet inland air, 'tis hard to breath, nor can we find relief, ever lightly touched we all must share the snowiness of grief. But sighs are spent before they reach your ear, vaguely they mingle with the water's rune, no sadder sound salutes you than the clear white laughter of the loon. Sorrow, by Celia Thaxter. Upon my lips she laid her touch divine, and merry speech and careless laughter died. She fixed her melancholy eyes on mine and would not be denied. I saw the west wind loosed her cloudlets white in flocks, careering through the April sky. I could not sing, the joy was at its height, for she stood silent by. I watched the lovely evening fade away, a mist was lightly drawn across the stars. She broke my quiet dream. I heard her say, "Behold your prison bars." Earth's gladness shall not satisfy your soul, this beauty of the world in which you live, the crowning grace that sanctifies the whole, that I alone can give. I heard and shrank away from her afraid, but still she held me and would still abide. Youth's bounding pulses slackened and obeyed with slowly ebbing tide. "Look far beyond the evening star," she said, "beyond the changing splendors of the day. Accept the pain, the weariness, the dread, accept and bid me stay." I turned and clasped her close with sudden strength, and slowly, sweetly, I became aware within my arms God's angel stood at length, white-robed and calm and fair. No, I looked beyond the evening star, beyond the changing splendors of the day, knowing the pain he sends more precious far, more beautiful than vain. Spring, by Celia Thaxter. The elder by the river shakes out her powdery curls. willow buds and silver for little boys and girls. The little bird fly over, and oh, how sweet they sing, to tell the happy children that once again 'tis spring. The gay green grass comes creeping so soft beneath the feet, the frogs begin to ripple and musically and sweet, and buttercups are coming, and scarlet columbine, and in the sunny meadows the dandelions shine. And just as many daisies as the soft hands can hold, the little ones may gather, all fair and white and gold. Here blows the warm red clover, there peeps the violet blue. Happy little children, God made them all for you. The Birds' Orchestra by Celia Thaxter. Bobolink shall play the violin, great applause to win. Lonely, sweet, and sad, the mellow lark plays your bow. Hark! That inspired bugle with a soul, 'tis your oriole. Yellow bird the clarinet shall play, blithe and clear and gay. Purple finch what instrument will suit? He can play the flute. Fire-winged blackbirds sound the merry fifth, soldiers without strife. And the robins wind the mellow horn, loudly eve and morn. Who shall clash the cymbals, clay and crow? That is all they know. Heralds twag the harps so weird and high, such a tuneful cry. And roll the deep melodious drum, lo the bullfrogs come. Men with splendid coals, who shall sing of so fine a thing? Who the names of the performers call, truly one and all? Bluebird, bunting, catbird, chickadee, furbird is he. Swallow, creeper, crossbill, cuckoo, dove, wren that I love. Brisk flycatcher, finch and watercloud. Kingbird, whistling loud, sweet rose, breasted, grosbeak, viero, thrush, here we stew and hush. Scarlet tanker, song sparrow, small digger, even all. The first sounder's friendly voice, saddest hearts rejoice. Redpoll, newfudge, fresher, plover grey, curlew did they say? What jangling all the crackles make? It's a mistake. And the coarse yellow hammer strike, and the wicked shrike harshly creaks like some half-open door, can do no more. A Broken Lily by Celia Thaxter. O lily, dropped upon the grey sea sand, what time a fair laugh through the morning land led the rejoicing children, singing all in happy chorus, to the festival under green trees the flowery fields among. Now when the noon sun blazes o'er the sea, and echo tells not of a song they sung, and all thy silver splendours silently thou yieldest to the salt and bitter tide, I find thee, and remembering on whose breast thy day began in thy fresh beauty's pride, thou of thy bloom and fragrance dispossessed, thou art to me than all June's flowers more sweet, fair than Aphrodite's foam-kissed feet. The Clover Blossoms by Celia Thaxter. The clover blossoms kiss her feet, she is so sweet, while I, who may not kiss her hand, bless all the wild flowers in the land. Soft sunshine falls across her breast, she is so blessed. I'm jealous of its arms of gold, or that these arms her form might fold. Gently the breezes kiss her hair, she is so fair. Let flowers and sun and breeze go by, O dearest, love me or I die. The Cradle by Celia Thaxter. The barn was low and dim and old, broad on the floor the sunshine slept, and through the windows and the doors, swift in and out the swallows swept. And breezes from the summer sea drove through, and stirred the fragrant hay, down dropping from the loaf, there in the grey old idle fishnet lay. Heaped in a corner, and one loop hung loose the dry, sweet grass among, and hammock-wise to all the winds, it floated to and fro and swung. And there one day the children brought the pet of all the house to play, a baby boy of 3 years old, and sweeter than the dawn of day. They laid him in the dropping loop, and softly swung him, till at last over his beauty balmy sleep its delicate enchantment cast. And then they ran to call us all. Come, see where little robbers guess, and brought us where the darling lay, a heap of rosy loveliness. Curled in the net, the dim old place he brightened, like a star he shone, cradled in air, we stood as once the shepherds of Judea had done. And while adoring him we gazed, with eyes that gathered tender dew, wrathful upon the gentle scene, his Celtic nurse indignant flew. Is this a fit place for the child? And out of his delicious sleep she clutched him, muttered as she went, her scorn and wonder low and deep. His father smiled and drew aside, a grave sweet look was in his face. For one who in a manger lay, it was not found too poor place. The Minute Guns by Celia Thaxter. I stood within the little cove, full of the morning's life and hope, while heavily the eager waves charged thundering up the rocky slope. The splendid breakers, how they rushed all the emerald green and flashing white, tumultuous in the morning sun with cheer and sparkle and delight. and freshly blew the fragrant wind, the white sea wind, across their tops, and caught the spray and flung it far in sweeping shows of glittering drops. Within the cowfowl flashed and foamed, with many a fleeting rainbow hue. Without gleamed bright against the sky a tender wavering line of blue. Where tossed the distant waves, and far shone silver-white a quiet sail, and overhead the soaring gulls with graceful pinions stamped the gale. And all my pulses thrilled with joy, watching the winds and waters strive with sudden rapture, and I cried, "Sweet is life, thank God for life." Sailed any cloud across the sky, marrying with glory of suns. Over the sea, from distant forts, there came the boom of minute guns. War tidings, many brave soul fled, and many a heart the message stands. I saw no more the joyous waves, only heard the minute guns. The Pimpernel, by Celia Thaxter. She walks beside the silent shore, the tide is high, the breeze is still. No ripple breaks the ocean floor, the sunshine sleeps upon the hill. The turf is warm beneath her feet, bordering the beach of stone and shell, and thick about her path the sweet red blossoms of a pimpernel. "Oh, sleep not yet, my flower," she cries, "no prophecy of storm to come. Tell me that under steadfast skies the wind shall bring my lover home." She stops together, flower and shell. She sits and, smiling, studies each. She hears, and full tide rise and swell, and whispers softly on the beach. Waking, she dreams a golden dream, remembering with what still delight to watch the sunset's fading gleam here by the waves they stood last night. She leans on that encircling arm, divinely strong with power to draw her nature as the moon doth charm the swaying sea with heavenly law. All lost in bliss the moments glide, she feels his whisper, his caress. The murmur of a mustering tide brings her no presage of distress. What breaks the dream? She lifts her eyes, reluctant to destroy the spell. The color from her bright-cheeked eyes, close folded, is the pimpernel. With rapid glance she scans the sky, rises a sudden wind and grows, and charged with storm the cloud heaps lie, well may the scarlet blossoms close. A touch, and bliss is turned to bale. Life only keeps the sense of pain. The world holds naught save one white sail, flying before the wind and rain. Broken upon the wheel of fear, she wears the storm waxed our way, and on golden fire draws near the sunset of a troubled day. But to her sky is yet denied, the sunlight lights the world for her. She sweeps the rose-flushed ocean wide, with eager eyes the quick tears blur. And lonely, lonely all the space stretches, with never sign of sail, and sadder grows her wistful face, and all the sunset splendors fail. And cold and pale and still despair, with heavier grief and tongue can tell, she sings upon her lips the prayer, her cheek against the pimpernel. Bright blossoms wet with showery tears, on her shut eyes their droplets shed. On the vacant wave she hears that singing drown his rapid tread. Sweet, I am here. Joy's gates swing wide and heaven is theirs, and all is well, and left beside the ebbing tide forgotten is the pimpernel. The Robin, by Celia Thaxter. In the tall elm tree sat the robin bright through the rainy April day, and he carolled clear with a pure delight at the face of a sky so grey. And the silver rain through the blossoms dropped and fell on the robin's coat, and his brave red breast, but he never stopped, piping his cheerful note. For over fields were green and glad, and the blissful life that stirred in the earth's white breast was full and warm in the heart of the little bird. The rain cloud lifted, the sunset light streamed wide over valley and hill, as the plains of heaven the land grew bright, and the warm south wind was still. Then loud and clear called the happy bird, and rapturously he sang, till wood and meadow and riverside with jubilant echoes rang. But the sun dropped down in the quiet west, and he hushed his song at last. All nature softly sank to rest, and the April day had passed. The Sandpiper, by Celia Thaxter. Across the narrow beach we flit, one little sandpiper and fast together, bit by bit, the scattered driftwood bleached and dry. The wild waves reach their hands for it, the wild wind raves, the tide runs high, as up and down the beach we flit, one little sandpiper and I. Above our heads the sullen clouds scud black and swift across the sky. Like silent ghosts in misty shrouds stand out the white-light horses high. Almost as far as I can reach, I see the close wreathed vessels fly, as fast we flit along the beach, one little sandpiper and I. I watch him as he skims along, uttering a sweet and mournful cry. He starts not at my fitful song, or flash of fluttering drapery. He has no thought of any wrong, he scans me with a fearless eye. Stanch friends are we, well tried and strong, the little sandpiper and I. Comrade, where wilt thou be tonight, when the loose storm breaks furiously? My driftwood fire will burn so bright, toward warm shelter canst thou fly. I do not fear for thee, while rough the tempest rushes through the sky, for are we not God's children both, thou, little Sandpiper, and I? The secret by Celia Thaxter. Oh, what saw you gathering flowers so early this May morn? I saw a shining blackbird loud whistling on the thorn. I saw the mottled plover from the swamp edge fly away. I heard the blithe song sparrows who welcomed the bright day. I heard the curlew calling, oh sweet, so sweet and far. I saw the white gull twinkling in the blue sky like a star. And is the blackbird whistling yet, and does the curlew call? And should I find your rapture if I saw and heard it all? Life seems to me so hard to bear, perplexed with change and loss, heavy with pain, and very still with care's perpetual cross. Why should the white gull's twinkling wings, half lost amid the blue, bring any joy? Yet care and pain weigh just as much on you, and you come back and look at me with such joy-beaming eyes an angel might have been your guide through fields of paradise. What is the secret nature keeps to whisper in your ear, that sends your swift blood pulsing warm with such immortal cheer, and makes your eyes shine like the morn, and ring sweet in your voice like some clear, distant trumpet sound that bids the world rejoice? A secret? Nay, she speaks to me no word you might not hear. Her voice is ever ready and her meaning ever clear. But the laughter with such passion that her lightest gesture seems divinely beautiful. She fills my life with golden dreams. I tremble in her presence, to her every touch and tone. I answer to her whisper, love has to worship grown. She turns her solemn face to me and lays within my hand the key that puts her endless wealth for aye at my command. So, because I worship her, her benedictions rest upon me, and she folds me safe and warm upon her breast. And in her sweet and awful eyes I gaze till I forget the troubles that perplexed our days, the tumult and the fret. Oh, would you learn the word of power that lifts all care above, the sad soul up to nature's heart? Answer, it is love. The Song Sparrow by Celia Thaxter. In this sweet, tranquil afternoon of spring, while the low sun declines in the clear west, I sit and hear the blithe song sparrow sing his strain of rapture not to be suppressed. Pondering life's problems strange, while death draws near, I listen to his dauntless song of cheer. Shadow flits across the quiet stone, like that brief transit is my space of days. For like a flower's faint perfume, youth's flown already, and there rests on all life's ways the dimness. Closer, my beloved, I clasp, for all dear things seem slipping from my grasp. Death touches all. Light of loving eyes goes out in darkness, comfort is withdrawn. Lonelier and lonelier still the pathway lies, going toward the fading sunset from the dawn. Hark! Are those fine notes the silence break, as if all trouble were some grave mistake? For a little bird, how canst thou thus rejoice, as if the world had known no sin nor curse? God never meant to mock us with a voice. That is the keynote of the universe, the song of perfect trust, of perfect cheer, courageous, constant, free of doubt or fear. My little helper, my comrade sweet, my old companion in that far off time, when all life's threshold childhood's winged feet danced in the sunrise, joy was at its prime, when all my heart responded to thy song, unconscious of earth's discords, harsh and strong. Now, grown a very sad with change and loss, with the enigma of myself dismayed, poor, safe and deep desire to bear the cross, God's hand on his defenceless creatures laid, with patience, here sit this eve of spring and listen with bowed head, that thou dost sing. And slowly all my soul with comfort fills, and the old hope revives and courage grows. After the deserted shore fresh tide thrills, and like a dream the dark mood melts and goes, and with thy joy again will I rejoice. God never meant to mock us with a voice. The Spaniards Graves by Celia Thaxter. O sailors, did sweet eyes look after you the day you sailed away from sunny Spain? Bright eyes that followed fading ship and crew, melting in tender rain? Did no one dream of that drear night to be wild with the wind, fierce with the stinging snow, when on yon granite point that frets the sea the ship met her death blow? 50 long years ago these sailors died, none know how many sleep beneath the waves. 14 grey headstones arising side by side point out their nameless graves. Lonely, unknown, deserted, but for me and the wild birds that flit with mournful cry, and sadder winds and voices of sea that moans perpetually, wives, mothers, maidens, wistfully and vain, questioned the distance for the yearning sail, that leaning landward should have stretched again white arms wide on the gale, to bring back their beloved. Year by year weary they watched, till youth and beauty passed, and lustrous eyes grew dim, and age grew near, and hope was dead at last. Still summer broods of that delicious land, rich, fragrant, warm with skies of golden glow. Live any yet of that forsaken band who loved so long ago? A Spanish woman over the four seas could but show you where your dead repose, could send tidings from the northern breeze, strong and steady blows. Dear dark-eyed sisters, you remember yet which you have lost, but you can never know. One stands at the bleak graves, whose eyes await the thinking of your woe. The Swallow by Celia Thaxter. The swallow twitters about the eaves, blithely she sings, and sweet and clear. Around her climb the woodbine leaves in a golden atmosphere. The summer wind sways a leaf and spray that catch and cling to the cool grey wall. The bright sea stretches miles away, and the noon sun shines o'er all. In the chamber shadow, quietly, I stand and worship the sky and the leaves, the golden air and the brilliant sea, the swallows that weaves. Like a living jewel she sits and sings. Fain would I read her riddle aright. Fain would I know whence her rapture springs, so strong in a thing so slight. The fine clear fire of joy that steals through all my spirit at what I see, in the glimpse my window space reveals that seems no mystery. But scarce for her joy can she utter her song, yet she knows not the beauty of skies or seas. Is it bliss of living so sweet and strong? Is it love which is more than these? A happy creature, what stirs thee so? A spark of the gladness of God thou art. Why should we seek to find and to know the secret of thy heart? Before the gates of this mystery trembling we knock with an eager hand. Silent behind them waiteth he, not yet may we understand. But thrilling throughout the universe throbs the pulse of his mighty will, till we gain the knowledge of joy or curse in the choice of good or ill. He looks from the eyes of a little child, and searches souls with a gaze so clear. To the heart some agony makes, while he whispers, I am here. He smiles in the face of every flower, in the swallow's twitter of sweet content he speaks, and we follow through every hour the way his deep thought went. Here should be courage and hope and faith, naught has escaped the trace of his hand, and the voice in the heart of his silence saith, one day we shall understand. The Watch of Boon Island by Celia Thaxter. They crossed the lonely and lamenting sea, its moaning seemed but singing. Wilt thou dare? He asked her, brave the loneliness with me? What loneliness, she said, avow it there. Afar and cold on the horizon's rim loomed the tall lighthouse like a ghostly sign. The sight not as the shore behind grew dim, rouse of joy they bore across the brim. They gained the barren rock, and made their home among the wild waves and seabirds wild. The wintry winds blew fierce across the foam, but in each other's eyes they looked and smiled. Aloft the lighthouse sent its warning wide, fed by their faithful hands, and ships in sight with joy beheld it, and on land men cried, Look, clear and steady burns Boon Island light. And while we trim the lamp with busy hands, shine afar and through the dark, sweet light, they cried. Bring safely back the sailors from all lands, to waiting love, wife, mother, sister, bride. No tempest shook their calm, though many a storm tore the vexed ocean into furious spray. No chill could find them in the Eden warm, and gently time lapsed onward day by day. Sad day no chill could find them, whereas one whose awful footfalls everywhere are known, with echoing sobs, which chills the summer sun, and turns the happy heart of youth to stone. Inexorable death, a silent guest at every hearth, before whose footsteps flee all joys, who rules the earth, and, without rest, roams the vast shuddering spaces of the sea. They found them, turned his face and passed by, but laid a finger on their lover's lips, and there was silence. When the storm ran high, and tossed and troubled saw the distant ships, nigh who should speak the terrors of the night, the speechless sorrow, the supreme despair. Still like a ghost she trimmed the warning light, dragging her slow weight up the winding stair. With more than oil the saving lamp she fed, while lashed to madness the wild sea she heard, she kept her awful vigil with the dead, and God's sweet pity still she ministered. O sailors, hailing loud the cheerful beam, piercing so far the tumult of the dark, a radiant star of hope, you could not dream what misery their sad cherishing would spark. 3 times the night, too terrible to bear, descended, shrouded in the storm. At last the sun rose clear and still on her despair, and all her striving to the wind she cast, and bowed her head, and let the light die out, for the wide sea lay calm as a dead love. When evening fell from the far land, in doubt vainly to find what faithful star men strove. Sailors and landsmen look and woman's eyes, for pity ready, search in vain the night, and wandering neighbour unto neighbour cries, Now what think you can ail Boon Island light? Out from the coast toward a high tower they sailed. They found her watching, silent by her dead, a shadowy woman, who nor wept nor wailed, but answered what we spake till all was said. Where bore the dead and living both away, with anguish time seemed powerless to destroy. She turned and backward gazed across the bay, lost in the sad sea lay her rose of joy. Twilight, by Celia Thaxter. September's slender crescent grows again distinct in yonder peaceful evening red. Clear the stars are sparkling overhead, and all the sky is pure without a stain. Cold blows the evening wind from out the west, and blows the flowers, the last sweet flowers that bloom, pale asters, many a heavy waving plum, of goldenrod that bends as if oppressed. The summer songs are hushed. Up the lone shore the very waves awash sadly, and a grief sounds in the wind like farewells fond and brief. The crickets chirp, but makes the silence more. Life's autumn comes, the leaves begin to fall, the moods of spring and summer pass away. The glory and the rapture, day by day, depart, and soon the quiet grave folds all. O thoughtful sky, how many eyes in vain are lifted to your beauty, full of tears, how many hearts go back through all the years heavy with loss, eager with questioning pain, to read the dim hereafter, to obtain one glimpse beyond the earthly curtain, where their dears dwell, where they may be, or ere September's slender crescent shines again. Watching, by Celia Thaxter. In childhood's season fair, on many a warm, moonless summer night, while wheeled the lighthouse arms of dark and bright far through the humid air, how patient have I been, sitting alone, a happy little maid, waiting to see, careless and unafraid, my father's boat come in. Close to the water's edge, holding his tiny spark, that he might steer, so dangerous the landing, found near, safe past the ragged ledge. I had no fears, not one. The wide waste of water leaks around, washed ceaselessly. There was no human sound, and I was all alone. Nature was so kind. Like a dear friend, I loved to loneliness. My heart was glad, as at some sweet caress went past the wandering wind. It was joy to hear from out the darkness sounds grow clear at last, of rattling rowlocks and creaking masts and voices drawing near. Is thou, dear father? Say. What well known should resound in reply as loomed the tall sails, smitten suddenly with a great lighthouse ray. Be patient now, dear heavenly Father, waiting here for we, and of the darkness house we should be afraid when it is woe. On thy eternal shore and pauses, when life's tide is at its prime, I hear the everlasting rout of time beating forevermore. Should not then rejoice? Never lost or sad should child of thine sit waiting, fearing lest there come no sign, no whisper of a voice. We sail toward evening's lonely star, by Celia Thaxter. We sail toward evening's lonely star that trembles in the tender blue. One single cloud, a dusky bar, burned with dull carmine through and through. Slow smouldering in the summer sky, lights low along the fading west. How sweet to watch its splendid eyes, wave-cradled thus and wind-caressed. The soft breeze freshens, leaps the spray to kiss her cheeks of sudden cheer. Upon the dark edge of the bay, lighthouses kindle, far and near, and through the warm steeps of the sky steal faint star clusters, while rest in deep refreshment thou and I, wave-cradled, was and wind-caressed. Like a dream, earth and heaven, starbeam and darkness, sky and sea. Her face, pale in the shadowy even, the quiet eyes that gazed on me, realized the moment's charm, thou dearest, we had life's best, folded in God's encircling arm, wave-cradled thus and wind-caressed. Wherefore, by Celia Thaxter. Black sea, a ponderous steamship driving between them, labouring westward on her way, and her path a trip of death's contriving, waiting remorseless for its easy prey. Hundreds of souls within a frame lie dreaming, hoping and fearing, longing for the light. With human life and thought and feeling teeming, she struggles onward through the starless night. Upon a furnace, fires of fresh fuel flinging, with swarthy firemen grumble at the dust, mixed of the coal, suddenly upspringing, swift through the smokestack, like a signal thrust, flares her red flame with dread illumination. A dry tumult, slowly to her helm the vessel yields, with shouts of acclamation and joy and terror all her crew are wed. For looming from the blackness drear before them, discovered is the iceberg, hardly seen, its ghast precipices hanging over them, its reddened peaks with dreadful chasms between, where the darkness swallows us again, and veering out of its track the brave ship onward steers to grazing ruin. Trembling still and fearing, her grateful people melt in prayers and tears. So the mockery their profound thanksgiving, and our ship goes shuddering through a doom unwarned that the very night of hopes is living, the freight is precious, lost amid the gloom. If not a ray to show the apparition, waiting to slay her, none to cry, beware! Rushing straight on that headlong to perdition, and for a crew not time vouchsafed for prayer. But to have stormed heaven's gate with anguish of prayer, it would not have availed the feather's weight against the doom. Yet were they, disobeying no law of God, to beckon such a fate, And do not tell me the Almighty Master would work a miracle to save the one and heal the other up to dire disaster, when merely human justice was so done. Vainly we weep and wrestle with our sorrow. We cannot see his roads, they lie so broad, but his eternal day knows no tomorrow, and life and death are all the same with God. Yellow Bird by Celia Thaxter. Yellow bird, where did you learn that song? Perched on the terrils where grapevines clamber, in and out fluttering all day long, with your golden breast bedropped with amber. Where do you hide such a store of delight, O delicate creature, tiny and slender, like a mellow morning sunbeam bright and overflowing with music tender? You never learned it at all. A song springs from your heart in rich completeness, beautiful, blissful, clear and strong, steeped in the summer's ripest sweetness. To think they are neighbors of yours, O friend. Oh, the pleasure to watch you together, bringing your fern down and floss to reline the nest worn thin by the winter weather. Send up your full notes like worshipful prayers, yellow bird, sing while the summer's before you. Little your dream that, in spite of their cares, his whole family, proud to adore you.